the children of the forgotten light. Long after the skies of Elthera had healed and the twin suns glowed once more, peace ruled across the crystal kingdoms. The Illyrians had prospered. Great floating cities drifted above the silver seas, powered by the harmony Elthera had restored between light and shadow. They no longer feared the dark. They painted it on their towers and wore it proudly on their robes as a reminder of balance. But with peace came forgetfulness. Generations turned Elthera's story into myth. The young no longer believed she had truly become part of the planet. They spoke of her as a symbol, not a real being. They built shrines to her image, yet few still listened to the whispers of the world that had once spoken to her. Elthera grew quieter each passing century, its luminous heartbeat fading into something distant, almost asleep, and far beneath its shining crust, in the cold layers where the planet's pulse once glowed bright, something ancient began to stir. The story begins with Taran, a boy of 17 born in the drifting city of Aravon. His skin shimmered with a dull golden hue, an unusual tone for most Illyrians glowed faint blue or pale silver. He had been born during a night when neither moon was visible, an omen the elders said carried both great power and danger. Taran didn't care for omens. He was a scavenger, diving beneath the floating city with magnetic ropes to collect fragments of fallen crystals and lost relics from the time of the old wars. He lived simply, selling what he found for food and dreaming of seeing the world beyond the endless glow of the twin suns. But one evening, while exploring the ruins of an old energy conduit under the sea's glass surface, Taran found something no one had seen for thousands of years, a living crystal pulsing faintly with purple light. It hummed softly, almost like a heartbeat. When he touched it, it whispered in his mind, "Child of dusk." "You have found me!" He jerked back, heart pounding. The voice was soft, but carried immense sadness. The crystal pulsed again. "Take me to the light," it said, and before he could think, it dissolved into his hand, merging with his body. His glow flared, golden and violet. That night, Taran dreamed of a woman made of starlight standing upon a silver sea. Her hair flowed like energy, and her voice echoed across his mind. "They have forgotten. But the world remembers. Find the heart before it sleeps forever." When he woke, the air around him shimmered. Wherever he walked, the ground faintly glowed beneath his feet. The elders were terrified. They saw his light and called him cursed. The city's governor ordered him exiled, saying his presence was disturbing the energy flow of the floating platforms. Banished and alone, Taran built a small glider and drifted down through the atmosphere toward the surface, a place few dared to visit anymore. The air grew denser, full of mist and glowing particles. Forests of crystal trees towered like silent gods, and the ground throbbed faintly with ancient energy. He felt the planet's pulse more strongly the deeper he went. In the Valley of Whispers, he found ruins, tall arches half buried in the luminous earth, covered in alien runes. At their center was a cracked spire, still faintly glowing. When he touched it, his mind filled with visions. Images of Elthera, the war with the Umbrath, and the moment she fused with the planet's core. He understood then the heart she spoke of was the heart of Elthera, the source of balance. And now, that heart was dying again, but this time it wasn't darkness invading, it was silence. The planet was slowly disconnecting from the consciousness of its people. The Illyrians had stopped listening, stopped feeling, stopped merging their light with the world. Without their unity, the planet's living soul was fading. Then came another vision. A city far to the north, half in shadow, where a black spire rose like a scar across the horizon. There, a group calling themselves the Order of Stillness had built a machine that drained energy from the ground to power their endless lights. They believed they were preserving light, not realizing they were killing it. Taran set off toward the north, guided by the whispering voice inside him, the same voice from the crystal. Along his journey, he met Kalis, a wanderer cloaked in twilight hues who carried no glow at all. At first, Taran thought him human-like, colorless, opaque. But when Kalis removed his hood, his eyes shone like tiny black holes rimmed with starlight. "I am of the Umbrath," he said quietly. "But not all shadows are your enemy." Terran was cautious but curious. Kalis explained that after Elthera's transformation, some of the Umbrath had remained, choosing to live in harmony with the light instead of consuming it. But they were now dying too, fading because Elthera's energy was collapsing. "If the heart sleeps," Kalis said, "both our kinds will vanish." The two became unlikely friends, light and shadow walking together. They crossed luminous deserts where wind sang in chords, and silver storms that painted the skies like moving art. They fought crystalline beasts mutated by unstable energy, and each night Terran's dreams grew stronger. Elthera's voice guided him, sometimes soft, sometimes urgent. "Do not let them seal the heart. The world must breathe." At last they reached the northern spire. It loomed above a city of blinding white towers, all powered by stolen light. The air there felt sterile, empty of the planet's pulse. The citizens had no natural glow. They wore artificial bands to simulate it. Their ruler, High Architect Solara, believed emotion was weakness. "The world is dying because of chaos," she told her people. "We must control light to preserve it." Terran tried to reason with her, explaining that the planet needed balance, not dominance. But Solara saw only a threat. "You carry the corruption of the ancients," she hissed. "You will not bring the eclipse upon us again." She ordered his capture. Terran and Kalis fought their way through crystalline halls, but at the heart of the spire, they found the great null engine, a machine drawing energy directly from Elthera's core. It pulsed with stolen light, and Terran could feel the planet's pain like fire in his chest. He realized what he had to do. "If I merge with it," he told Kalis, "I can return the energy. But it will destroy me." Kalis placed a hand of shadow on his arm. "No, it will free you, as it freed her." With one final breath, Terran stepped into the heart of the machine. His body disintegrated into streams of gold and violet, rushing through every conduit, flooding the city with raw, living light. The machine shattered. Across Elthera, the ground trembled, the forests bloomed, and for the first time in centuries, the planet sang. In that light, the people of the North saw visions, not of war, but of Elthera and Terran standing together, their forms blending like sunrise and dusk. They understood at last, control was not strength. Connection was. Kalis stood alone beneath the collapsing spire, watching the glow spread to the horizon. "Rest, brother," he whispered. "Your light will not be forgotten." When dawn came, a new tree of crystal rose where the spire had stood, its leaves glowing gold and violet. The Illyrians named it the Tree of Two Suns, symbol of unity between light and shadow. From its roots, new life emerged, beings who carried both glow and darkness in their forms. The children of the forgotten light. Centuries later, when travelers passed near the tree, they sometimes heard two voices whispering together in the wind, one calm and bright, one soft and deep. Remember, balance is not the end of the story. It is where all stories begin again. And high above, in the eternal sky of Elthera, the twin suns burned stronger than ever. Their light intertwined, their shadows whole. The world lived on. Because once again, someone had listened.